Okay, hello guys. Good afternoon. Um, I'm really sorry for joining late today. Yeah, so we're like 4 minutes behind time. Uh, okay, so I'm just going to start with the basic greetings. Okay, before we even start, okay, towards the middle of the training, I will still say what I'm about saying now. But welcome everyone and happy International Women's Day to every single woman here and every woman in the world, right? Okay, so welcome to today's class. It's going to be a very long one, yeah, but don't be worried at all. It's going to be interesting and fun, so you will be able to like understand a lot of things. Um, I will try to see how I can slow down on the speed so that we can really understand every single thing. Like, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start from the beginning, right? Like not from the beginning practically, yeah. So I'm just going to start from the beginning to explain how we went about with the food menu application, right? So yeah, I used to greet, so I'm just gonna greet a lot of persons here as well. Hello, Joy, Bami, Femi, welcome. Uh, J Ghost, Blessing, welcome. Paul, welcome. Adjama, welcome. Onyi Badmus, Jesu Joba, welcome. Solihat, welcome. City Woman, welcome. Adelie, welcome. Abiodun, welcome. So, all right. So, welcome, everyone. For the guys that are in the studio, Nwali Rita, welcome. Jesu Joba is also here. Jay, yeah, welcome everyone. So, for the guys in the studio, please, you guys will help me out whenever I have like an issue. You could just like let me know. If at all at some point you're no longer hearing me. So I really believe I can be I'm audible enough, right, guys? You guys can hear me very well, right? Um, if you can hear me very well, please just like drop it for me in the comment section, so I'll just know that I can be heard very well. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Paul. Okay. All right. So happy International Women's Day again. I will say it like 5 or 10 times today. Yeah, so we celebrate all the women here and we are proud of you guys and we believe in you. Okay, so let's get to today's lesson like immediately. Okay. So okay, please just give me a moment. Let me post this on our community on Facebook just so that we can have a couple of people joining again today, please. Thank you. Just a minute or two. All right. Okay. So, thank you very much for your patience. I was trying to make a post on our community on Facebook and link. So sorry about that. I think I left a particular tab that was playing the live YouTube video. That's the same lesson. So sorry about that. Okay. One more thing. It's quite far away. Okay. So we're gonna start right now. Everything is fine. I'm gonna share my screen right now, and okay, so we have more people joining. So yeah, once again, happy International Women's Day to every woman here. All right, I hope you guys are having fun today. Yeah, so we celebrate you and we believe in you. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen, and then we can just like quickly start right away. Okay, yes. So this is FlutterFlow, right? So we're going to continue from where we stopped yesterday. And yesterday we were trying to learn how to build a food menu application. So the idea is we're trying to build an application that will allow customers to uh, use the application to select the different menus and then be able to like book like maybe other meals, right? So instead of having to go to meet the person that is supposed to do that normally, right? So um, so we're going to continue from there, and let me see. Okay, so let me try to quickly run it so we can see. So this is basically what we're trying to build. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to just like try to like build this. Um, it has a section for food, has section for drinks, has a section for extras. All right. So this is what we are going to be building, right? So when you click on each of the sections, like the food section, like continental dishes, so you see a dish. All right. So we can actually get to display as many things as possible here. This is supposed to be displaying a list, right? So then if you click on it, you can see like the full detail of the meal, and then you can click to other. Now, while this is actually very easy to do on another platform called Adalo, it is actually difficult to do here, right? So not like difficult, but you just need to be able to master the whole scenario, right? So and that's basically what we're going to be doing here. We'll be trying to see how we can master querying data the from Firebase, right? Yeah, so the way we learn in this program is that we learn by doing things, and most times the things that we do are hard, so we just have to learn how to do hard things. So how can this application be built? I'm going to start from scratch to explain how we move from here to where we were yesterday, right? So how can this application be built? First of all, you need to understand that for you to have these application like this, we're going to have like collections, right? We're going to have to set up our Firebase. So this is Firebase. Let's go to the project itself. So we called it Voodoo, right? Yes, this is it. So this is Firebase, and Firebase is this is like basically where we're going to store the information, like store different information that has to do with our application. The food menu application doesn't have users, right? So it doesn't have like a login or a sign up page. It doesn't have that. It just has a page where users just get to it without having to log in or log out or anything, right? And so but we still went ahead to do authentication, right? So now we needed to use Firebase to store this information, and in Firebase we have to go ahead and create some things called collections, right? For you to be able to store information in Firebase, you only store information as collections, like in something called collections. So if you come here to Firebase, we did some settings yesterday. So what we did first was we went ahead, we came to build, and then we clicked on authentication. It's just the normal process you can go about, right? We clicked on authentication, and then we clicked on get started. Okay, no, we didn't do authentication because we didn't want to have our users authenticating here. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, what we just did was we came to we created this project in Firebase, and then we went ahead and then created our Firestore, like launched it up, and then we started creating some collections here. All right. And then one of the things that you need to do first, so some persons had some issues, right, in their project, right? And let me just show you what you should do to avoid unnecessary issues. Like, so many of the errors that you get can be avoided if you do some certain things right. So let's just create a random project, like a new project, and then you can see how to start with it. So you just give your project a name. So let me just call it Fudo, another creative way of saying Fudo. So Fudo app. All right. So then you click on create blank. All right. This is how to create a new project in FlutterFlow, right? So it will bring this menu up, and then window, and then you will be asked to either change the name or the package name. You don't really need to tamper with any of these. Just leave it the way it is. Okay, and then click on next step. All right, so you click on next step. Now the reason why I'm doing all of this is I don't want anyone to give up on the way, and maybe the person feels like, oh, I am overwhelmed, I'm not catching up. So I'm going to try to be doing this thing repeatedly over time so that we can just be on the same page. All right, so after you've done that, you need to provide a Firebase project ID. So for you to be able to provide a Firebase project ID, you have to create a Firebase project, right? So you come to Firebase. So let me just run through all over again, since I'm just like running through everything. So you come here to console.firebase.google.com. Like, of course, I'm believing that you've signed into your Gmail. So as far as you've signed into Gmail, Firebase is Google's product. So yeah, you just come here to console.firebase.google.com. Then you see here, you can click to add your project. So you click to add your project, and then you give your project a name. All right. So just try and follow the steps like this. And if you do it the way it is done like this, you won't have any issues. You won't have a lot of issues, a lot of errors, right? So you can go ahead and then click on continue, and then uncheck this Google Analytics. It's a test project, so we don't want Google Analytics to run on it. It's basically like a waste of resources. Yeah, because this is like supposed to be a paid service, but now you're given for free, but you are not going to end up using it. So why integrate it for a test project? So you only get to integrate it when you're ready to, like, build a real project, right? So launch your project live. You can go back on the panel and then enable it. So I will just click on create project, and then I will wait for a couple of seconds. This one doesn't take so much time. And then after that, it will finish provisioning the resources for this project. I will have access to all the things that I'm supposed to have access to while using Firebase. Okay, so when I'm done with that, I will just click on continue. It's almost done. So like I said, the very first thing is you come to FlutterFlow, and then you start creating your project. You create the project, and you reach this point where the request for Firebase project ID, right? And then you come to Firebase, and then you create a project following what we just did. And then now, how do you get the Firebase project ID? You click on the gear icon here, just here inside your Firebase project dashboard, right? So if you can see it here, you see the name of your project, Fudo, here, right? So you just click on this, and then you see project settings. So you click on project settings. Now, you can just go ahead and copy the project ID here. You highlight and copy just this, what you have here, and then you bring it to Firebase and paste. Now, I want you to now start doing two things simultaneously while you're trying to copy the project ID. At the same time, add users and permissions, so that we don't have to get that error. Because if you go ahead and then click to connect right now without adding Firebase as an editor on this particular place right now, sorry, FlutterFlow as an editor, kind of, right? So it won't work, right? So as you copy your as you copy your Firebase project ID, always simultaneously come to users and permissions, click on add member, and then add this email here. So it says Firebase at FlutterFlow. It's basically an email address .io. So that's it. So you add it here, and then you come here to roles, and then you click to change it to an editor, right? Now, like this, it simply means that Firebase can make some instance like from the from the project, right, in FlutterFlow. It can like commit some things here. So without this, there's no permission. It's like creating a Google spreadsheet or something. You have to give some certain people permissions to either be able to read or edit it. Either they should be able to view it alone or just edit it, right? So then what else? Then you click to add member. So you add the email address here. If you can see here, it says email addresses. So you just add one, and then you click to change the roles to editor, and then just click to add member. All right, so you click this, and that is done. All right, so now that you've done this, if you go ahead and click to connect add Firebase to your project, like it's everything is going to work out fine. You see this green check here, means everything is done. Now, before you go ahead to start building, because I think some few persons might have clicked this button first before auto-generating config files. So now if you don't do that, you will need to now go back and do it manually and all of that. So, but don't waste time in having to like wanting to go and do it manually, right? I'll show you how to do it manually if at all you encounter some problems. You'll be doing a lot of things like this, right? So assuming you have a faulty car, sometimes even not if you're not like a real mechanic, right? So you might just need to go and check water, you check oil, check a lot of things, right? And then try to start it again. So if the water was not enough, you top some water, and then if at all the oil was almost running out, you add some oil, then you go try to start the car again, right? So because sometimes you don't really know what is broken. So I will show you all the possible things that you can just check if at all you encounter some some problems that has nothing to do with the widgets in the real application, because there are some issues that you have that has to do with the project that you're doing, like the screens, like some errors, right? So but anything else that is outside the errors on your screens, then just I'll show you a couple of things to just do to ensure that you're fine. All right, so after you've done this, click on auto config files. After you've connected Firebase projects to this, auto generate config files, then click on generate files. All right, now when you do that, it now generates the configuration files for everything that concerns Firebase and Flutter working simultaneously. Like there are a lot of things that are on the back ends, like lots of APIs, lots of provisioning, server resources, a lot of things that are happening on the back end that this generating configuration does. So if you skip it, right, sometimes it might flag some errors you might not even know. It might not really state that, oh, it's because you did not auto generate config files. It might not say it like that, right? So it's best for you to just be in the safe place while starting a project. Do like this, right? So then after you've done this, we don't want our users to log into our app via Firebase. So we don't need to turn on authentication. But if you want your users to log in, like maybe create an account, like when we were working on the login now application, right? You need to go ahead and check this, but we don't want that, okay? So, but now if you want your users to be able to create collections automatically, right? Someone asked the question the other time, can we be creating collections automatically from FlutterFlow? Yes, it's possible, right? So eventually I'll get to show you how to do that. But right now, for this particular scenario, we will just take into consideration that this means being able to create data into each of the collections, right? So yes, we will tap on this. So you have to turn this on, right? Then automatically add a users collection to Firestore for logged in users and all that. You can just leave this on like this just to avoid having any problems at all. Then the initial page, right? Initial page is like the very first page that your users see when they are trying to use your application. So we'll just click here, and then it will bring us to where we are supposed to create page. So you can choose from a variety of templates and do what you want to do. So for our project, we decided to come to list, right? I think it was list, and then we went down this page, and then we used this particular list called template called user list tabs, right? So we clicked on use my team, and then we give it a name. We call this home. You can just call this home. All right, so you click on create page, and then when you're done with that, only when you're done with it like that, can you click on start building. All right, so when you do it like this, you have a lot of things working. There are no errors. If there are any errors at all, right, it will be as a result of the things that are here on the screen. So, and then if at all you have errors, you will see the issues here, project issues. All right, okay, so now that's for that. And then also, if at all at some point you had skipped the auto configuration, auto generate config files, there's no need to go and delete your project and start all over again. You can just come to settings, right? And then let me see. You come to Firebase, right? And then if at all you did not auto generate configuration files, you will see a button here that says auto generate configuration files. Or if at all you have issues with your file at all, just come back here and click. This is always like trying to check the oil and the water in the car, right? Okay, especially because maybe the error might not be so explanatory. Okay, so just come back here and click on regenerate config files. When you click on this, check whether it works. If it doesn't work, then check for other things, right? So this is like water, so you check for water. Then another thing you could just quickly do is, there's some persons that had some issues with their schema, right? I think that has to do with the food menu application. So if at all you come here to Firestore, right, and then you check your schema, you have to make sure that the field name, the data type, all right, that is found here in the FlutterFlow database also matches the schema in your Firebase. If it doesn't match, there's going to be a problem. That's why most times when you're trying to create a collection, like now, if I click here to create a collection, and then I want to type, see what they write here. So they said, note, this name should exactly match your collection name in Firestore. So now they won't stop you from writing anything you want to write here. But when it doesn't match, it will have a lot of issues. It will just tell you some files are not matching and all of that. So you just need to come back here and then check it one by one. So just try to be very careful. Okay. All right. So this is how to create your project and not have any issues. Okay. And then what else? I think that's all for now. And of course, if you want to check out whether your schema is valid, like what you have on your FlutterFlow and your Firebase matches, so you can just come here, click on the setting button here inside Firestore, click on the gear icon here. It will bring you here. Then from there, you can go ahead and then click on validate. So if you click on validate, you wait for a couple of seconds. It will show you here successful or not successful. I think that should be so. So, and that's like how you check for these things. So this should work very fine because I haven't really done anything serious yet. So it says successful. Okay, so that's for that. Now we wouldn't be building this from scratch like before. So we will just go back and re-explain what was happening. I might just do some disconnection of some certain things, and then we can go ahead and reconnect it again, right? So let's go back to the food menu application. So I'm going to stop sharing like right now and just be sure that everything is fine. Okay, so all right, I just wanted to be sure that everyone is still here and everything is still fine. Joy said she had deleted her projects a lot of times. Sorry about that. You can always like click to auto generate your files all over again. All right. So we will go back to, I will continue presenting. I just wanted to be sure that everything is fine and all is good. Okay, so share screen. Okay, so we're back here and we're going to go back to the Food app. So this is it. All right. Okay. All right. So okay, so this is where we were as at yesterday, and let me just show you guys what we did to the extent that we did it. So okay, so now this is the application, and I'm very certain that if you go back to watching the video that we did yesterday, like the recorded video, you will see how we set up the design here. That's, we choose the template. Okay, I've already showed you guys that, and then a lot of things. So I will just start to like recap. Okay, so where is it? Let's come here to widget tree. Now the thing is this, the current version for this particular project, right? FlutterFlow changes like frequently, like it changes so frequently. In some dashboards, you won't be able to see the widget tree on the same segment where you have these widget tree. It shows differently. I will show you a different project that that has something different. So you shouldn't panic at all, right? So FlutterFlow updates like frequently, and that's a good thing. Okay, so now let's check out something. Okay, while this is loading, I would like to I'll just duplicate this. Now this is not something you should do. I just want to go back and I want to have access to a particular file so I can look at the files there. So let's say here, and I'll just take a look at the structure here. Okay, so all right, so now this is basically what we're trying to build, like I told you guys, right? So we have like some screens here. We have the main screen, which is the home, all right? So it looks like this. And then we have the non-alcoholic screen. That means this screen is going to show non-alcoholic drinks, right? Then we have another screen that shows okay, this was done. We'll check it out. So this is non-alcoholic screen. Then we have alcoholic screen, right? Then under the alcoholic drinks, right? So we have other brands, like of course, if it is non-alcoholic, we have like a soft drink. So under soft drink, we have the Coke, right? So that's what I mean by brand, right? Alcoholic brand. And then so basically we have like three different structures. So we have the alcoholic screen. So let me click on it so you can see it. Alcoholic screen like this. So this will show list of alcoholic drinks. And then we have the alcoholic brand. That means when you click on it, it will show you the different alcoholic brands. And then when you click on each of the alcoholic brands, you will see the detail of the alcoholic brands like this. Okay. So now that's basically how it is. Then under dishes, right? So we have home first. Home shows us the different food that we have. We have the continental, the I don't know what did we have there? So we have continental, national, pastry, grills, and all of that. So we didn't create all of these, which I think we just created continental and national. That's okay. Then we have the next thing we have is so under this, when you click each of those, you're going to go to the dishes, right? So in the dishes, you will see different things. Like this is the dishes. This is the food itself, the food collections. Then you click on it, you see the dishes. So we're supposed to have like afang, then okra, and then egusi, and other different dishes here. Okay, so that's basically it. And then we have the non-alcoholic brands. Then we have the non-alcoholic drinks. Under that, we have the non-alcoholic brands. Then we have the non-alcoholic brand details, and then these other pages have not been done yet. So okay, so let's try to look at it. Okay, so now this is it. At this point, I think I am going to just go ahead and then create this structure, like the same structure that we had there. Then we can just like go through it all over, right? And I might have to just disconnect a lot of things. Yeah, it's gonna make a lot of things to break, and refixing it might waste a little time, but we will look at it. Either I do it like that or I just explain it. Okay, so let me try to give this a list. So we have alcoholic brands. Okay, so we're supposed to have alcoholic. All right, let me create a list called alcoholic. Let's I wouldn't want to duplicate some screens because it's gonna give me some errors. So I will just go ahead and then go to list. Then I'll go pick a new template. Then I will use it. So I think this is what I have been using, right? All right, so let me confirm that. So this, yeah, it is. So click on this and then get issued to this list, and then I'll scroll down and look for the template. Where is it? Okay, so right now at the early stage of things, just trying to use the same templates that I'm using, so we don't have any issues that will be very difficult for me to explain like quickly, right? So I'll call this alcoholic, just alcoholic. Now this is basically like the alcoholic section for the food menu application, right? So alcoholic, and I will rename this. Just click on this widget here, the text widget, and then change the name here, alcoholic. Like, okay, so then let's just change this to alcoholic list. So something like this. Okay. So I'm trying not to duplicate the, what is it called? The screens just like that, because if I do it, I might end up copying some reference documents that it might be difficult for me to remove them out immediately. So when you're doing it, instead of copying, you could just create new ones like this. It doesn't take a lot of time. And then I would delete all of it except one, because I want to generate this data from the database. Okay, so this works. Okay, so I have a screen for alcoholic. I am going to create another screen for non-alcoholic, right? So I think there's a screen here, right? Yes, yes, yes. And I think it's safe to use. Yeah. So let's call this non-alcoholic. This is non-alcoholic. So we say non non-alcoholic maybe drinks. Okay. So like this, we're good with that, like that. So now for you to change the name of the screen, we have your dishes, copy, copy, copy. Just you come here, you see the name of the scaffold, right? You see it here. Scaffold is like the entire thing, like the entire thing that covers it. It's more like a term used in Flutter, the the platform that allows you to like build cross cross-functional, cross-platform application, but with coding, right? So they call it scaffold. So you can just click on this and then rename it. Just remove all of this, and then let's call it non-alcoholic. It has to be like one word. Okay, non-alcoholic. Okay, so we're fine with it like that. So we now have alcoholic, we have alcoholic brands, we have non-alcoholic, we have non-alcoholic brands, right? So we are good. Now we need something else called alcoholic brands details. I will try. I want us to create a structure. It to be simpler like that for us to handle, right? It will make it very simple when we're working it. So non-alcoholic drinks, non-alcoholic brands, and then under this we should have details. So this the detail part here is the part that when you click on it to show the image of the brand and some description and then the pricing, right? So it is actually the template you can use is found in content. So you can just come to content and look for a template. You can use anything you see that works for you, but I think I will just use this, right? Yeah, I'll use this. It looks simpler. Okay, so this is gonna be alcoholic brands details. Okay. Now I'm trying to name it like this so that I can understand what the screen is. All right. Okay, so if you have a simpler way to name it and you can still remember the names, so just go ahead and then name it what you want. Now, if you can see, as soon as I added it, I have an error here, right? Project issues, right? It says image part property not properly set in image. Simply means that this image here is pointing somewhere that no longer exists, right? We're just using a template, and it was pointing to somewhere else before. So you can easily fix that by clicking on the image, and then you come here to set from variables, right? Click on it, right? If you can see here, it's the thing was pointing to facility ref. So, and we don't have anything like facility ref, like a reference here. So click from set from variables, and then you see the delete icon here. So just click on remove variable. If it happens like that, you will take off the error. Just always make sure that every single major step that you make, you are checking out the number of errors that you see. Fix the errors as they come. Don't wait until they compile. Yeah, because like that you won't know where to do Control Z. Like that's to go back and check out something. So now we don't have any errors. Just call this well, we will still remember it actually. So we don't really need to do so much. This is going to be for description. This will be the name of the alcoholic brands, right? And then this can be for the price, right? Yeah, we can leave it like that. So let's delete everything else. So I'm going to take this off. Where is it? Just click on it and take it off. Like this one now is inside a list view, so you can delete the entire list view. Instead of going to just delete the container, hover on it, and then you will see a list view. On the left hand side here, you can see that it's a list view. So you delete everything because every other thing that is inside here is inside the list view. So if you delete the list view, which is the parent, you're going to delete all the children as well. So everything else that is inside the parent is called the children. So you delete it, and then that is gone. And then for this button, right? So we're trying to just save time here by just using templates so that you can understand the functionalities. Then after a while, we will, put our attention on designing. Like we'll just pay attention to just design stuffs like from scratch. Okay. All right. Maybe using the design from Figma, like checking out what is being available on Figma, and then we just like design it. Okay, so for this button here, we need the button for order noun. Like we need its order noun. So, but it is so far down, and then it is outside. If you click here, if you see here, there's something called the column main content here, right? So it's just a column. So you can just come here, click on the button primary. That's the button itself. Then just drag it inside. Just drag it up a bit. So it's enter like this. Okay, so now it doesn't look very well. It's so close to the edge, so you can click on it. Every element has padding and alignment settings. Okay, so like this now, this button has a padding and alignment setting. So if you come here to the right hand side, you will see padding and alignment. Now you can give some padding. Padding is basically space, right? So if you need space on the left hand side, that means you want to give padding on the left. If you need space on the top, you have to give padding on the top. If you need space on the bottom, padding on the bottom, space on the right, padding on the right. Okay, so here we just need space on the right. So optimally just use 16. I just type 16 and that is fine now. And then if you observe, it doesn't give me, it doesn't allow this to be like the center, and it's not like reaching full here. So it simply means that the width of this button is not long enough to reach this point. I just want it to be like normal, uniform. So I'll scroll down here while still having the button selected. Then I will come to width, right? The button has a width, right? It also has a height. Okay, every component here, every widget has a width, it has a height that you can actually adjust. So we'll just come here and then change this thing to 360, right? So from experience, I know that if I leave it at 360, it makes sense, okay? Without having to have, what is it called? A padding on the right. So this is just okay, right? So, so I can click to change this to, what is it called? Change the descriptions here to other noun. Okay. All right, now that we have done this, we can go ahead and then duplicate this alcoholic brand detail screen and for non-alcoholic brand detail screen. So just right click on it, or you just do Control D. So you can just right click or Control D, but I think right click works better. So Control D, right click, and then click on the screen itself, then click outside here, maybe, and then you will see the name of the scaffold here. So if you see this is, highlighted, then I click on the scaffold here, and then I can go ahead and then click here to change the name. So I won't change so much. I just want to put none at the beginning. So non-alcoholic details. Then, at the end, there's a copy there, which I need to remove. So I'll just take off this copy. Okay. All right. So now we have the basic structure. We have the home, right? So let's go back and check out what we've done. So we have the home. Let's assume that this is how we started. We started out by just designing and arranging it first, right? So because before you build an application, you're supposed to have designs or at least a structure of things, okay? So I think, yes, I should have done that on maybe Whimsical so that you can see it. Yeah, I think it might be too late to do it now. So yeah, so we have like I'm talking about the user flow, like user flow of the things that is happening here. I think in the next lessons I'll consider always using user flows so it can be simpler to understand. Okay, so here we have the first screen, which is the home screen. It's called home, right? So here we have the food section. So when you click on the food section, it shows you a list of food from the database. Now this one, everything here comes from the database, right? It was just one component that we had here, but we now went ahead and queried the database for it to show here, right? So what I'm gonna do now is a bit dicey. If I go ahead and then delete this, it's gonna be difficult for me to. So I'll just explain some basic things, all right? Instead of deleting and starting all over, like maybe deleting this and starting, because I've already created references. I'll just show you all over again. Okay, so now this particular section here, it's a collection from our database, right? So let's go back to the database for Fudo, right? So this is the database that we created yesterday. Let's go to Firestore database. Okay, so now here we have a collection called alcoholic, and then we have a collection called food, then we have a collection called non-alcoholic. Now, if you observe, we didn't create a collection called drinks. Then inside drinks, we now have alcoholic. Inside drinks, we also have non-alcoholic. It's to make the whole thing really complex. So I decided to just create a collection called alcoholic, then create another collection called non-alcoholic, and then create a collection called food. Now, inside food, we have the following collections, right? Sorry, documents. We have the following documents, and then that's continental, and we have national, right? So these are the documents that we have that we created. Okay, so how did we create this? We just went ahead and we clicked on start collection, let's say for food, clicked on start collection, and then we let me call these foods. Okay, I just have to like recap on this. So call these foods, and I'm writing it like this because there's food already. It doesn't have to be the same. Then I clicked on auto ID, and then I give now each of the collection has to have fields, right? So like here in the application, right, we have the collection is called food, right? Then we have like 4 documents here. Now that this is what it means. We have 4 documents, and let's come back here. Let me show you what I mean. No, I have to explain here first before I come back here. So we have 4 documents here, and then each of these documents have similar fields, like similar field names. Now look at this. This is the names. These are the names of the fields, right? So they have the same names of the field. Now we have here the first field here is called the name. Then we have description, and then we have image, right? So we'll just go ahead and then say name, right? Name, then we give it a name, maybe continental, right? Continental. Then we click to add another field. We call it description, and please make sure that your spellings are the same. Okay, so description is a string. Now notice I didn't change the data type here because I know name is going to be string. String is just basically a combination of numbers, characters, and alphabets, right? So then description is the same thing. So description here, it can just be tasty meals, tasty continental meals. Then click on add field, then we have image here. So you go to Google or anywhere and then get a photo of a continental image, right? So I did have some basic things here. If you guys need it, you can request for it. I will give you access to these this particular Word document where I kept like pre-copied email image address of different pictures. Okay, so for continental, I think I didn't have a photo of continental here. I had to go search it. Just come here and then and say continental continental images Nigerian, what is Nigerian what am I saying? So continental Nigerian dishes images, something like this. Okay, so if you come here, then you click on images. All right, so then you can click on anything. All right, so I think something like this, then oh, maybe this one, and then you click to right click, and then copy the image address. This is just for me to recap, and then bring it here and paste it here, right? So like that, you have the value, you've given the value of the image for this particular document, all right, which is called Continental. The main name here is the Continental. So you can click on save, right? And that's it. So I'm not going to save it. Okay, let's just save it, then I'll delete it. Okay, so I click on save. Like that, I now have for Continental. Then if I want to go ahead and create a sub collection under this, I just go ahead and click on this, click on start collection inside here, right? If you observe under foods, we have two documents, just like we just created. And then, but for national meals, we have a sub collection called dishes, right? We will also have another sub collection called dishes here as well. So that when users click on each of the documents, that's the documents for a particular collection, right? They will be able to see other things. They don't know they are clicking documents, basically. So you're the one, as the developer knows that they're clicking documents. Okay, so to create a sub collection, you would just click on start collection inside here, and then follow the same process, give it a name. So here we'll call it dishes, and then click on auto ID, do the same thing. Okay, so let's just not go ahead with that. And for these foods now, I'm going to go ahead and just delete it. So if at all you have created a collection at some point and then you're worried about, oh, I made a mistake, it shouldn't have been like that, how do I delete it? Just come here, right click here, and then you see document, delete document. Now if you want to delete document, you take off entire document off, right? If you just want to delete only the fields, you can either delete them individually by hovering on them and then deleting them like this, or you just click here and then delete only document fields. But we want to delete the entire document on the foods. So you have to be careful. It will tell you that this will permanently delete all data at this location, including all nested data. So you just start delete. Now it takes off everything, right? So now, but we still have the collection here called foods, but it doesn't have any documents. So if you want to still delete these collection, so you just right click here and say delete collection, and it will ask you to type the name of the collection. So you type foods, that's the name of the collection. And be careful, these are all permanently deleted things, so they are showing you here as a warning because you can't restore it back after you've done it. So click on delete, and then that's it. Okay, so I have done a recap of how to create a document and even create sub documents. So now I'm paying attention to food alone for now. We have food, we have two documents. One is for continental, one is for national. Inside national, we have dishes, right? So dishes is a sub collection. And then inside dishes, we have two documents as well. One is another meal called afang, and then another one is called okra, right? So now, what we need to do now is we come back to, let's close this. I might need that again at some point, maybe not. Okay, so then we come back here now. So now, how did we have created this, schema and collections here. You have to also create the same thing with the same variable data type on your FlutterFlow. They have to be done, together. All right, so you have to come here to Firestore here where my cursor is, click on it. After you've done it on Firebase, you come here and do it. This particular schema has already been done for you automatically when you turn on authentication, like creating a collection, creating your collection for users. Okay, so then the next thing you need to do here is you can just come here. We have users already. So this is for the food. So I created a food collection, right? I created a food collection here, and then it has the following fields. Now here, you don't have to specify documents and all of that. So you just need to specify the fields of the food. Now, like the things that we have here, we have the images, the description, and then the name, the description, and the image. Okay, so and it was also here already. So let's go back to food. We have on the food, we have this image, name, and description. Okay, So that's the same thing here. And then the data types are the same, are correct. So here it says image path. Then the other side is set string. Yeah, I explained that before. So what I mean is, let's just say image kind of. Then you click here. You choose for images, you have to always choose photo path. But when you choose photo path, it will just write here image path. Just let it be like that. Okay. So let me just add this and delete it. Right. So okay, then I created another sub collection. You know, we have a sub collection here that is called dishes, right? So dishes here. So and then inside that we have two things, like the fields. We have we have 4 fields: description, image, name, and price. So you come here too and also create to add a collection, and then you call it dishes, for instance. I'm not going to create it. Then since it's a sub collection, you have to turn on this button that says is sub collection. So you turn it on, then you go and choose the collection that this is a sub collection of. All right. So of course it's going to be food. Then from there you click on create. Right. So like that you have dishes, and then you can now go ahead and set up the schema, which is name, image, description, and price, and ensure that your data types are the same, they match. Now, when you're done with that, you need to go ahead and we come back now, and then we have to start doing the querying. Now, don't forget, we're almost done with the entire application now. After you've created your screens, you know what you're going to be navigating to from everything, right? So now you need to go ahead and then start querying data, like make certain things that you have in your database to show on your screen. Okay, so for the food, this is a list of the collections in our in Firebase under the food collection, right? So now, but for drinks, I told you guys that drinks is not a collection, right? I mean, drinks itself, like what we are seeing right now, is not a collection. We just created, if you can see it has a list view, but we didn't generate it from database. Now, if you see, there's a difference. Now, this first one here is showing the picture is very clear, while these ones are not clear. These ones are faint. It shows you that this is something that is coming from database, right? But this one is not coming from database, it's just static, right? But now I have I? Okay, no, I have not linked it to another page yet. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so now when we click on this particular part, it's going to take us to what is it called? It's going to take us to the list of alcoholic drinks, and then we will get that from the database. All right, so now we did for food yesterday. All right, so we didn't do for drinks. Now I will go back and recap for food, but you can still learn the same thing by understanding how I will do it with drinks. Okay, so let's focus on drinks now, and then the same way I'm doing it for drinks, you will be able to do the same thing for food. Okay. Oh boy, guys, I have to just sip this quickly. Okay, I had to gulp that down quickly. It was getting cold. All right, so what we're going to do right now is yes, we're going to work on the drinks part. So now let's go to the screens that has to do with like when the users interact with this particular field here. All right, the screen that they are supposed to be taken to. Okay, so now this is for alcoholic. So we have alcoholic. We have a page for alcoholic. See it here. Now this is where we're supposed to display the alcoholic details. All right, so now how do we go about doing that? First of all, we are going to just redirect our user from this home screen. When they click on any area around here, all right, we just want them to be redirected to the alcoholic screen. Now that one is very simple. So all you just need to do is either you make the entire container here, like you can see, or you just make just the row. Some people might just want to make only the button here, but I don't really advise it. Since you don't have a lot of things here, not all customers will always click on this icon, and it's quite small. So for your user experience, you might need to just make the entire area here. Some people might go to click the image, some people might go to click the text. All right, so just make the entire area here to be clickable. So that's why I'm taking the entire row. So you click on that. Now, when you click on that, you need to go ahead and then come to actions. Initially, it might have been here, right? So you come here to actions. And then when you come to actions, what you need to do is you need to go ahead and add an action. So an action is what action can your users take and what will be the implication of that action, right? So we will click here to add an action. So you click here to add an action. And then so you need to define your action. Now, the type of action that we will be using here is called on tap. So we have different types of tap actions. There is on tap, there's on double tap, and then there is on long press, right? So we're just using on tap, right? Okay, so because it's easier that way. Now we know that when people want to copy something, they always long press, like they'll click and long press. Now they might not want to copy this, so we just make it only on tap, right? So you click on tap, and then you say navigate to. All right, so with navigate to, we're going to go to alcoholic, because we want the user who clicks on this alcoholic field to be redirected to the screen for alcoholic, right? Alcoholic drinks. Okay, so so you click on the alcoholic, and that is all, right? That's just how to point your user from one screen to the other when they tap on something. So we would do the same thing for, okay, let's just focus on one per time. Now, like that, if your user clicks on this, all right, so let me see. Let's see if it's going to give us the interactability immediately. Okay, so we have here, you come to drinks, and then if you tap on this, yeah, it brings you to alcoholic. Now, guys, I used the preview app here to just preview my application, right? It will not be bringing things from the database. It will just work normally, right? Yeah, so, but you can use this to just test whether you are doing some clicking things correctly, all right? So that's just it, without having to use the other one to wait for too long. So just the eye here, it allows you to preview your application. So but now if I come here to where is it? Oh, I think I used a different, where was I? Okay, I think I need to close some things. So I want to check this out again and show you something. Okay, so you click on drinks. Now, if you hover on this right now, have you seen that it doesn't show me the hand icon? That means this is not linked to any particular screen, but this one is, all right? So it allows you to be able to interact with your stuff, just basic, right? So, but just like you can see here, it doesn't allow you to see stuff that is from the database, okay? All right. So now we have redirected to the alcoholic screen. So we go to alcoholic screen. Then now we want to show the documents that are found in the database under the collection called alcoholic. So if you click on the alcoholic here, you see that we have 3 documents, and we want to bring out all of these things to show on that screen. So we start like that. So we come here, and how do we do that? So what we are going to do first of all is we need to understand that we are going to use a list view to be able to show repeated item, not like repeated, but a list of items from the database. Okay, so oh man, coffee is gonna get cold. Okay, so so we're going to show a list of items from the database for alcoholic collection. So for us to do that, we have to use something called list view. List view is the widget that is provided that allows us to be able to generate a list of things, right? So that's why I'm like trying to lay emphasis on it. So you click on the list view here, because this big container, the row here the image here, the text here, everything here is inside the widgets. That's the component called list view. So this is what you're gonna use. So you click on it, and then you come here to Firestore. That's to add backend query. All right. So you click on it, then you will see, okay, it's called a backend query actually. So you click on add backend query. So when you tap on it, it will ask you what kind of query type do you want to do. So I'll click on it. I'll say, okay, I want to query the collection. Now, I need you to pay attention here because at this point, we're trying to query a collection directly from the database. Now, when we are trying to navigate from this screen to another screen that is inheriting some information, like let's say like now this alcoholic screen, right, has a sub collection. Now when you click on this, like when we finish setting up and the list shows, it shows all the documents under the alcoholic collection, right? When a user taps on it, they are being taken to a sub collection, right? We want them to see the sub collection in each of these collections. So now that's when we will talk about something called document from reference. But for now, we just want to get something directly from a collection that is in the database in Firebase, right? So we do query collection. Now, you might not find this very simply elsewhere, like on YouTube. Like you might not really see someone try to explain it deeply like this. So I'm trying to say this because if you can just understand this particular scope, it will be very easy for you to work with querying your backend and seamlessly using FlutterFlow. Okay, so now our query type is going to be query collection, and then we will go ahead and then select the kind of collection that we want to query. Okay, so you're querying a collection, and now what kind of collection we want to query? Okay, now you see here we have a problem. So we have a collection. This is the only list of collections that we have: dishes, food, and users. We have the collection created in Firebase, but we don't have the collection created in FlutterFlow. You see the problem, right? So that means we'll just go ahead and then cancel this, right? And then we have to go ahead and go to our Firestore in FlutterFlow and create a collection called alcoholic. And please, the collection has to be the same name like what you have in Firebase. So I created all right, then we'll start the schema. So start from scratch, and then now let's go and check out what is happening. We have only 2 fields for each of the collection, like, all right. So we have the image and name. Okay, so we will come here and say name. Name is going to be string or data type. Then you click on this. Then we have image. All right, so image is going to be photo path, and then we check. Now we have created a collection called alcoholic. Good. Now we are going to go ahead and create another collection called alcoholic brands, right? Okay, now let's take it one step at a time. Okay, so I don't get to choke you guys. So let's close this and just focus, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's query this first. Then from there, when we reach the bridge, we try to cross it. I think that way to be better. Okay, so this is it. We will now go ahead and then continue with what we're trying to do. We're currently selecting list view, don't forget. Then we click on add backend query. Then select the query type. We're querying collections. And then what kind of collection? We're querying alcoholic collection now. Now we see it because it is now there. Okay, so then it tells us query type. This is a query type before, right? Yeah, this is another query type. So for this one now, it has something here. It tells you whether this query should return a single alcoholic, a list of alcoholic documents, or the number of alcoholic documents and all that. So you can just hover on it to see what it is. So this is going to be a list. If I thought we just want one thing, we'll just say single document. Okay, so now the reason for single document is most times you just want to display one document, but you want to use a filter, maybe filter by email or something, right? Okay, so we will look at that eventually. Now we will say list of documents, and we won't do anything else. We just click on confirm, and then another confirm. So it's asking you here, are you sure you want to create the backend query? And you just go ahead and then see. So now it shows everything. It shows that, okay, this is going to be a collection. It's going to show you a list of things from the database. But now your work is not done yet. You have only created a backend query that displays like this. So you now need to give each of the things that, each of the widgets here, like a direction, like a path, right? So you click on the image here, and then you say set it from variable. Now this one was set from network here, so it was just a normal picture. You know, if I go ahead and then highlight all of this and delete it, it goes off. It just shows you blank stuff there, right? So I'll just return it back to what it was. And click on this here, and then click on set from variable. So if I click on set from variable, I am going to go ahead and come to alcoholic documents. Now the thing is this, you have to do these things step by step like this, otherwise certain things you will not see. So yeah, because if at all I had come to set from variable before, I wouldn't see alcoholic documents. So now that I have done that, I'll just click on alcoholic documents, and then this particular image here, the data type is photo path. That's why it doesn't even allow you to click on name. Red here shows that the data type in the database does not match what the elements you're trying to pick, right? So this is a widget, and this is an image widget. So every image widget should have a data type that is the photo path, all right, or a string that's from database, right? So now that's why I can't highlight name and I can only highlight image. So that was just for explanation. Okay, so then we can click on this, and then we'll come here to set from variable. We go to alcoholic documents, and then we pick name. You see, now in this situation, I can't also select image because a text widget can only accept a string. All right, it can accept what an image can accept, right? A photo path scenario. So we click on name, and then here, okay, so now we have I think we had just image and name. Okay, so we have to take out something. So I'll delete these. There was no description. Then the row here, you just delete it. Then the price here, you can delete it as well. All right, and then of course it was inside a row, just delete it. Okay, so now we have these now, but we need some icon that is supposed to be here, like an arrow, like a right arrow. So go look for the let me see. Oh, this is actually a column. Let me see what we did here. Drinks. Click on this. Okay, so I think what I did here was, this is a column. It might not really allow me to stack some things inside it. This is a property title. Okay, so I might need to do some changes. So this is a column. I don't want a column. Right click and see if you can change it to replace widget. So right click to replace widget. So this could cause an error depending on the layout. So let's see, change it to row, right? Yeah, it's fine. Now let me explain why I needed to do it in row. The reason is because I want to put something on the side, or on the right hand side of this name, right? I want to put an arrow there. Okay, so I can't put it in a column widget because column is stacking from top to bottom, right? But row is stacking from left to right. All right, so now I want to put something here on the right hand side of this widget. So I needed to like replace the widget that was called column with another one called row, and I did that. So now I can go ahead and click on this, add a child to this widget. So you click here to add a child. I want to add an icon, so I'll just search for icon, and then put like this. Okay, so I have this icon like this now, and then I want this icon to be here on the right hand side, like far away here. So you can click on the row itself, and then there is something here called row properties. Then under that you see main axis alignment. So there is a particular part here where if you click it, it will spread them apart, right? So to spread them apart like that. And then I can add a padding to this row on the side. I can say 16, so it can just push it inside a bit. Okay, then I'll come here, click on the icon, click on settings outlined. That's the settings of the icon. Then I'll say arrow. I just want to change the icon from this to this. Okay, so like this. Okay, so this is perfect. This is fine for us, and it's okay. Okay, so let me see this icon and this. Okay, this is okay for now. All right, so now with this, now we have this can actually give us show us a display of each of the documents that is found in the alcoholic document. All right, so just show us what we have here, these three things. So let's try to just run it. While we are running it, we will just continue building. Okay, so um, now now we've done this. The next thing we just need to do is now I need to make a recap of what we've done. So now this screen now is just getting the documents that are from the alcoholic collection. So I have showed you how to do it. First of all, you click on the list view here and then do your backend query. Then after that, click on the images and then set them from variable, right? Click to set from variable and everything, right? Then I just had, this one was just basic design, just to have an arrow here. Okay, so it gives your user an idea that, okay, there's something in front. If I click here, I'll see something else, right? So something that is not shaggy. Okay, so all right, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the hard thing, right? The next hard thing. This one was basic, it's simple. Now don't forget, we have under this alcoholic collection, we have a sub collection. Let's go find it. All right, so we have alcoholic brands as a sub collection, right? So we have an alcoholic brands as a sub collection. So if someone clicks here, the person will see like some sub brands, right? So you see here like the alcoholic brands, we see Carlo Rossi, right? Okay, so let me show you what I mean. Let's go back a bit. Under wine, which is the one of the documents. Okay, so this guy is ready. Let's see if we can see what we have done so far. It should just show us three documents, and then we can go back to that. So now the same thing that I'm doing here is the same thing you would do for food, right? I needed to just do for alcohol instead of having to repeat myself on that. So we'll do for this alcohol, we'll do it again one more time for non-alcoholic, so that you can like be firm. You will know how to query stuffs that are collections and query stuffs that are sub collections, move them from one screen to the other. Okay, so we come here to drinks and then we click on alcoholic drinks. Now we see everything, right? So we have alcoholic list is the spirits, there's wine, there's beer. These are coming directly from the database. Okay, so that works. Now we need to go ahead and then go to the alcoholic brands list, right? So let me show you again what we're doing. Now this is the alcoholic list like we've just done. So we need to be able to click on it. I think I didn't feel for spirits, beer, and I did for only wine. So you click on this, it should show you all the wines that are available under that particular part, right? So this is the next thing we need to do. And this is the part that is a little hard because this is a sub collection of a main collection called alcoholics, and you will need to query this thing from a reference. So let's look at it. Now this is the screen for brands. All right, so where is it? Let's look at it. This one has a price, it has an arrow here. Okay, so we're good. Let's just quickly do some things here. So it doesn't have a description, so I'll just take this off. Okay, so this and take off the row as well. Now this is a text that is inside a row, so I will leave it like that. I'll click on the row itself. I want this text to go on the left hand side, so I clicked on the row, and then I will click on which of them? I think here. Yeah, I'll click on this to put it at the beginning of the row, and then I need to add another element. That's another element. I just want it to be an icon, so icon elements. And then I will go ahead and then change the type of icon. I'll say arrow, just like we did before. Quickly do it. Then I'll click back on the row itself. I want to spread them apart from each other, right? So one should be at the extreme of themselves. So I click on this, and then that's it. We have this like this. So now this page is good. Okay, so Now, when someone clicks on the alcoholic here, like each of these particular fields here, maybe clicks on this, it should take the person to the alcoholic brands page where they can see the sub collections on the alcoholic. Clear? All right. So now we need to go ahead and then do that. How do we do it? Now we will go ahead and then make the whole of this row clickable. Like by that I mean we are highlighting the whole of this row, so we want to assume that the user can click either these or the name or the image. So we just select only the row like this, and it covers everything. So then we go to add action, right? Good. Now pay attention, please. Now you click on add action, right? Now when you click on add action, tell it to navigate to, we want to navigate to alcoholic brands. Okay, now we have done that. It's cool, but we're not stopping there, because we don't want it to just navigate to the alcoholic brands. We want it to carry everything that is found in this page, right? By that I mean everything that is found in this page, the collection, the sub collection, everything. Wants it to move it to that side. Want to, not like we're moving everything, but not like it's going to go and show in that screen. We're just moving it there so that it can just be there. Like then we can now call it and summon it and say, okay, I know you're here in this page. All right, show here. Okay, so I don't know. I hope that really makes sense. So we have done the redirection, navigating to. Now we need to go ahead and define parameters we want to pass from this page to the next page. Now this is where you need to really pay attention. So you click on define. Now, when you click on define, it brings you to the page that you have navigated to, like that you say, okay, when your users click on it, they should be here. So it's now in the alcoholic brands page, right? Now that we've done this, we need to go ahead and define parameters. So we click on add parameter, and then the way I like it, I like you to do it based on convention, like give it names that you can understand. So now this parameter is going to be called alcoholic ref. All right, alcoholic. Sometimes the spellings beats me, right? So alcoholic, right? So we call it alcoholic ref. Now, because we're trying to reference the alcoholic, like the screen, right? Okay, so we're trying to reference that. That means this data now is the reference of the alcoholic screen. That means both the collection and the sub collection. Good. Then we now go ahead and say, what type of collection is these that you're trying to create? This parameter, what type of collection is it? All right, now we want it to be document reference. This is more like this is like the data type. All right, so just like we've been creating a collection and all of that, this is you creating a temporary collection in a way, right? So but now you have to mention what type of data type it is. It is actually a collection, a document reference. Okay, so then what is the collection type now? So what are you collecting? We're collecting all alcoholic drinks. All right, that's the fields that are the documents that are inside alcoholic collection. Then we go ahead and confirm. All right, now that we've done that, it brings us back to where we were before. We have not finished. We need to go ahead and pass that parameter. Now we have said that, okay, this is what we want to pass, and we've defined what we want to pass. We need to go ahead and then go ahead and really pass it. So if you make a promise, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you have to finally do it eventually, right? So we just made promises that, okay, yes, I'm going to pass this thing to you, and this thing that I'm going to pass is called this, right? So let's finally fulfill our promise by clicking pass. So now you click on pass, you say you tap on the alcoholic ref, and then you click on onset, right? So this is where we need to define some things a little bit more. Okay, so now that you've done that, we need to go ahead and then click on alcoholic document, and then tap on the reference here. Okay, and then click on confirm. That's it, really. So that's how you pass information from one screen to the other. It's a little complicated, but it's easy, right? So after a few practices, right, you'll be able to like do this easily. And after this, we will do it again for non-alcoholic brands, and then of course I think it will be a little bit solid in your brain. Okay, so we've done this now. That means we've passed this the reference to the page called alcoholic brands. So we go to alcoholic brands now. Let's just change this to alcoholic brands, alcoholic brands. Okay, so now don't worry about what we have here. It was just for convention's sake. We will call this, we will give this name, this we will change what we have here to be the, look at what happened here. So you can see here, the name here is wine, while we have here available drinks. Okay, so you understand what I mean. So let's go back to this. Okay, so we have this now. This is the page that we transferred everything to. We have fulfilled our promise. Now this screen has to go ahead and then make use of the promise. So how do we make use of this? Now we will go ahead and then collect everything here. So you have to collect it from head to toe if you want to use it from head to toe. Now I will explain what I mean by head to toe. So if you start collecting your the information, right, from, let's say, the column here, you won't be able to call it here. Now let me explain what I mean even before we start. If I click on here and say set from variable, right, I should be able to call the different things that I had set in the previous page. That's the under the alcoholic screen. All right, I should be able to call it here, like that wine. I should be able to call it here. But if I go ahead and then do some, because I'm about querying the backend now from reference, but now I have to do it for the entire screen. If I want to be able to call some things in different places, like now I want to be able to call like to bring the wine here in the app bar, right? Okay, so don't worry, when we do it, you get to see what I mean. So we will click on this, right? And then we will come to query. Now, first of all, look at it. If you check on this, it says page parameters, right? So you see here alcoholic ref. That means something has been passed to this screen and it's called alcoholic ref, right? So we're not sure that, okay, for real, the promise is available. The promise is there. So we just need to make use of it. So I'll click on the main stuff, the entire screen. So this is it. And then I'll come to backend query. Then I'll click on add backend query. Now it will ask me query type. Now I'm not querying collection this time around. I'm querying a document from reference because we did it as document as reference. Then what kind of collection am I taking? Yes, I'm still taking the alcoholic collection. All right, guys, this is where we are going to have to pause. Now we're going to pause because we're about hitting a roadblock. That is as a result of the fact that we don't have a sub collection to pick from. All right, we don't have a sub collection to pick from. Well, let me show you guys something. We are still fine for now, right? We're still fine for now. So we can continue. We can just click on set and say alcoholic refs. Okay, so that's it. Okay, now that means we have received we have accepted it. We've accepted the promise. That means we've accepted the reference that we got from the other side. But now we've not started using it yet. But we have accepted, we have acknowledged. In fact, that thing that you always say, original copy received by me when you're trying to collect certificates, right? You see, so we just did that right now. I'm trying to just make this a bit jovial so we can have like an understanding about how this thing works. So we just received it, but we've not started using it yet. So how do we use it? Now, if you come here to the list view, we want to generate the list of the alcoholic brands. Now, this is where we're going to hit a roadblock because we have not created a sub collection for, have we? No, we have not. We have not created a sub collection for alcoholic brands on the alcoholic collection. So if we click on this and then we come to backend query and then click backend query. Now, this one, we're not querying document from reference. We're querying a collection, okay? So we will go ahead and query a collection. What kind of collection? We're supposed to see alcoholic brands here, a collection called alcoholic brands, but we didn't create it in FlutterFlow, so we can't see it. So this was what I was talking about. So we have to go back to Firestore and then click another. Now look at this here. We have here as a sub collections under alcoholic brands. So remember your spelling very well. So click on the add collection inside FlutterFlow and then call it alcoholic brands. Everything with small letters. Yeah. Let me confirm. Yes. Alcoholic brands. And then you have to check this because it's a sub collection. So you check it and then you choose the collection that it is a sub collection of. So you click on alcoholic and then you click on create. Are we good? All right, so now we go ahead and let's set the schema. Let's go back to the schema and see what we have under here. So we have name, price, image, and description. All right, so let's come back here and say name. Name is a string. Image is a photo path. Make sure that your spellings are the same. Description is a string, and then price is an integer. Okay, in the other side we said it was a number, so here we said it's if you come here to price, you see it's number. The data type is number, but integer is also a number. Okay, all right, so now we have done that, so we are good. If we come back to here, we can go ahead and then add a backend query. So we'll go ahead and say add backend query. Query collection type, we're querying a collection. What kind of collection? Alcoholic brands, it shows now. Then value source, where are you getting this thing from? I'm getting it from a variable, right? Now, which variable? So you click here and then you go ahead and say, oh, I'm getting it from this alcoholic ref. So you can just pick this, okay? And then confirm and confirm and confirm again. So like that, we are good. It now shows that some things are being displayed from the database. Okay, so we have done that and we're good. Now we need to go ahead and then click on this individually to set from variable. So I click the image, go to alcoholic brands document. Okay, so now if you can see, I have things that are even from alcoholic document, right? So that means I can call things that are in alcoholic collection, things that are in the sub collection, and that's why this is really cool. So alcoholic brands document, I'm picking the image, and then here it is going to be okay, this is a column, right? This is a text. All right, guys, I'm going to just duplicate this. No, it's not doing it the way I want it to do. Okay, so this is my price. Okay, so it actually has description and all of that, but I think I could just skip that. Either I do it like that or okay, this is column, so I click on this, add a text. All right, so now I'm trying to just add an extra text to the column so I can put my text on it. So let's push this up a bit here, and where is it? Push it up above. It's now putting it inside the row. I want to put it here. Oh boy, that's not how I want it to be. It is putting it in different places. Okay, so I think I'll just bring it back down. Okay, so Ctrl Z, 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 Ctrl Z. Okay, so actually I've messed up with the structure and I don't really want to spend time trying to fix this right now. Okay, so let's say 16. Okay. So all right, so this is gonna be just, we'll use this for description. Yeah, so it doesn't really look so nice, but we will use it here. So we have done for image, so we use for the name, click on set from variable, come to alcoholic brands document and say name, click on this, set from variable, alcoholic brands documents, nope, price, then price, you don't just stop there, you have to click on this no further changes, change it to number format, then change this from no formatting to custom, and then check this document that says display as currency. So if you don't want it to give you a default currency like dollars, right? So you can just put currency symbol, Naira, right? Maybe Naira or something. You can go copy another version and just put it here. So then click on confirm. All right, so we have this, then we click on this and say alcoholic brands document and description. Now we can limit the number of things that shows in our description so it doesn't like show too many things. Okay, so you can say you just want uh 10 characters to just show 10 characters out of your description to show here. Okay, so and then you can do a lot of things. You can reduce the font size, you can reduce the font weight, a lot of things. So that's it. So now we have done this. Let's just see what we have done. So I will click on this and run it. So yes, this was going to be a long class, like I said, but I believe it's worth it because I have taken time to like explain it like in detail. Yeah, and I believe that more persons have a clearer understanding of how to do this now. So this is one of the the most hectic thing you can learn while trying to use a FlutterFlow at the beginning stage. Yeah, so how to pass things from one screen to the other, it's a little complex. So now with this, you will like you've moved to some level now, all right, in using Flutter. After this, the next level of difficulty is maybe using conditional statements, if this, if that, and all of that. Don't worry, not writing codes, just to click buttons. All right, so now we're waiting for it to show whether we've done the thing right or not. Now the last part, okay, so I will not do it for alcoholic brands, non-alcoholic brands. I will just do what we have done to the end till the details page, right? Then from there we end the class. Of course, if you understand this, you can do for the other ones. Yes. Okay, so we've done this like this, and we are waiting for it to show at the other end. Now we need to go ahead and then pass this information now. So look at what happens here. If I click on Carlo Rossi, for instance, it comes to a page here that shows an image, the price. Well, it didn't really show a description here. Oh, we didn't have a description here. Why did I have to bother myself putting a description? Okay, so yeah, because why would you need to describe Carlo Rossi? Okay, so now if we click here, it brings us here, and then you see the money and then order now. Okay, so let's see, it has finished deploying it. Let's see if that's done what we wanted to do. Okay, all right, so it's taking some time. Come on, load the blue button, or purple. I think it's always, no, not purple, it should be purple. Something is going to load up here. Oh yeah, it's up. Okay, so we go to drinks. We click on alcoholic drinks. We have everything here. I don't know which of them that we fixed, but it showed here. Let's say, let's see, who did we give a sub collection to? So let's go back to here. Alcoholic. Okay, wine has a sub collection. So let's click here and say wine. Come on, is it not wine? Beer. What is happening? Okay, so something is happening that I do not understand. So alcoholic brands. Let's go here first. And then under wine has it. This one doesn't have. So wine has alcoholic brands. And it's only one document. And it's Carlo Rossi. Okay. So what happened? Okay, so now this is where we're going to have to try to debug. Okay, so something is wrong somewhere and we need to be able to like fix it up. So it has redirected us to this page, fine, but it's not showing what we need to see. So let's come to the big page itself. So add backend query. We're querying alcoholic. Click here to just edit alcoholic, and okay, this is fine. All right, this is fine. Then here is most likely where we have an issue. So list view, edit backend, alcoholic brands, collection is alcoholic brands. query collection, value from, okay, so I think this is where there's an error. So we pick this. Okay, so you're not supposed to pick this actually. You're supposed to pick this. Okay, so guys, that's the error there. Okay, please just try to remember that when you're working on yours. Okay, so it won't work now because we have to like deploy it all over again. Okay, so let's close this and let's close this too. Let's run it again there. So okay, so all right, so that's gonna work out. That was just like the error that we messed up. And then now we want to just, we have like 21 minutes. I told you it was going to be within 2 hours. So we'll try to see how we can, it has to be within 2 hours. We won't jump above 2 hours. So let's go to the alcoholic brand detail. So we want to pass the information here, right? So just the same way we did for the alcoholic brands, that's moving it from alcoholic to alcoholic brands. We need to now move it to the description page, like the details. So when they click on each of the stuff, what we are doing right now is this particular part. When they click on this, it should show them this, and then the other now. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we will select the entire row here, and then the same thing that we did before. We click to add action, then click here to add action. On tab, we say navigate to, and then we say alcoholic brands details. Then we are going to have to define it. All right, so we define it. It brings us here. So we are going to have to add parameter. We will call it alcoholic brand ref. I'm just saying, like writing it like this so I can remember. All right, let's see here if it's working the way it should work. If it doesn't, it should mean that we have made a mistake in our schema, but I think it should. Okay, it's taking some time to load up. Don't worry, it's gonna load up. Okay, so drinks, alcoholic drinks. Was it wine or beer? Wine. Was it wine or beer? Whoa, what is happening? What's happening? It's not showing anything here. It's broken. It's supposed to show because here, okay, now we're gonna have to cross check everything. So alcoholic brands. Okay. Okay, I'm very happy that we made that error so that you guys can see as well. Now, guys, look at where I killed myself here. Like I didn't kill myself, but I made a blunder, a really big blunder. You see here, the collection, the sub collection is called alcoholic, right? So this is the problem, and unfortunately, I cannot rename. I cannot rename the sub collection. I have to delete it and set it up all over again. So delete collection, and be careful next time. So we will say alcoholic, right? Brands, right? Is a sub collection of alcoholic. Then I check it again. Right. So then create, then start from scratch. So name, string, image, our photo path, our description, string, and price. Price is integer. Okay, so we are gonna have a lot of errors. You see, we have a lot of project issues here, like a lot, because of what some naming conventions have changed. So it's confused. So let's see. Should be correct now. Let's go back to the whole thing, and then we try to let's go back to alcoholic brands and do some changes. Now look at it. We have a lot of things that have bad names. So it says here unknown. Okay, so here we are going to click on this and set from variable again. Click on this and say alcoholic document image. Was it alcoholic document? No. Sorry, guys. Now we need to go ahead and then query this all over again. Sorry. The whole problem starts from here. So edit back and query. See, collection type was not set. So we're going to say alcoholic brands from reference. Okay, this should work now. Okay, so errors are gone. Okay, so let me go back and fix this one so that we can be sure that everything is fine. Alcoholic brands documents image and confirm. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So I'm glad we had that error so that you guys can also see like how dangerous it is to make mistakes even with your spellings. So this is like actually English class. If you make mistakes with spellings, you have some issues. Okay, so all right, so let's just try to finish this particular one. Alcohol brand details, right? So yeah, we did do the pushing. Did we? Okay, so let's come back here and click on row. I'm currently running it so we can see it at the end. Row, then alcoholic brands, navigate to alcoholic brands details, define parameter. So I click on this, it brings me here. So add parameter, let's call it alcoholic brands, and put it like this, ref. Yeah, I think it's okay. So type, it's gonna be document reference. Collection type, we're going to say alcoholic brands. Then we will say confirm. Okay, it brings us here. We pass the promise, that's we pass the reference. We click on this and then we click on unset and then we pick this. Okay, let's go back. We go to alcoholic brands document and pick a reference there and confirm. All right, so we're good like that. And now that we've done that, I'm going to be a little bit fast here because we have to stick to that time. So we've done this. We go to the alcoholic brands details. We want to catch everything here, including at the top as well. So we'll click the entire stuff. If you see here, it just shows this is a column of main content. We don't want that. We're going to the alcoholic brand detail, everything, right? So I'll come to the top of the widget tree and then click on it. Then I'll say query backend. That's add backend query, a querying collection document from reference, sorry. And then we are querying alcoholic brands. And then here we are picking alcoholic brands ref, confirm. And then now with these, we are a little bit gonna be easy on ourselves. So we'll just click on this and say, click on the image, click on set variable. Now we're not querying, we're not doing a list view here. So we don't need to go do the querying again. So here I'll just click on set from variable, then come to alcoholic brands documents, right? And then image, then this facility name, let's just call it set from variable alcoholic brands document is going to be the name. We can put the name again here, alcoholic brands documents name. Here we'll just use the price, set from variable alcoholic brands price, no further changes. Number formats, no formatting. Custom, check, Naira, and confirm. And then here is that description that we had. Click that, set from variable alcoholic brands document, and description. Then that's it. The button for other noun, we won't really like put it up right now, but I will show you how to do it. So now with these, okay, we have set up everything. Let's see whether what we have here is working finally. I really hope you guys are there for real, because I can't see the other side. Yeah, I'm just having faith that you guys can hear me, and I'm also checking my network to be sure that everything is fine. So I really hope I have been audible, I have been visible, all three. So alcoholic drinks and wine, and voila! So it works. Now you see, we had that error because of the spelling, and of course we have to just go ahead and then troubleshoot and see everything. So you go to check water, check the oil, everything. So here we have this. Now, oh, now it was still running while it was like we finished doing the fixing while it was still running it. So it carried this update as well. So you click on it, then you see it here. Oh, it didn't carry the update because it's supposed to show everything here. So it didn't carry any update. So let's go ahead and then run it again because we just finished. All right, so while we are waiting on this, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, our YouTube channel, please just click on the subscribe button, like the video, like this training, please. It's one of the ways you can, make us feel motivated that, okay, we're doing some good work here. And for real, I'm saying it with all humility, right? It's going to be very difficult for you to find a tutorial like this on YouTube that will have their teacher, paying attention and really trying to explain these things in detail, apart from just clicking buttons and all of that. So, all right, so just give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Okay, so and then of course, if you have some concerns, you can drop it as a comment. We're gonna check up concerns like very soon. As soon as this is done, we're done. So now the last thing we would just do here, because I think this is the end of the application, except the other features that we will add later, which we will add it later. But this is like the end of this training for now, right? So the only thing you need to do now is go ahead and add what is it called? Go ahead and add let's see. Add an action to this button. So you click here, go to add action, and then instead of navigate to, just scroll down. You will see something called where is it? Launch URL. So it says here launch URL. So if you want to redirect your users when they click a particular button outside, so you use that add action feature called launch URL, then type the URL here. You just type the URL. So for me, the idea was for the customers to just click a button and it redirects them to the WhatsApp of the admin. Then the person can go ahead and then maybe say, okay, I want to buy this or something, right? So, but later we will build it such that it will have a cart, right? So all the customer would just need to say is maybe click it and it will have a ready-made text message that says, I have just placed my order. And of course, the admin, my name is this, I have just placed my order. And then admin will say, okay, yes, we've seen your order. We'll build the admin panel of it that shows the different orders in real time. Okay, so we will check that out eventually. Okay. Okay, so now that's for that. So let me just say, let's launch this to Twitter. All right, twitter.com. All right, so I really want us to stick to the time, so we're closing this. Okay, so we're done with that, and let's see. Okay, so I think we're done with it. Let's just see the last part if it shows the display that we wanted, and then we're done. So once again, happy International Women's Day to all the women in this current cohort, Nocode Africa. Yeah, so we believe in you guys, and then we are like cheering you guys. Okay. All right, so we go to drinks and alcoholic drinks and wine and color rossi, and voila, we're good. Everything works. So you see here, it captures color rossi. It captures these alcoholic brands. We would have done that. This was wine, right? We would have done that by coming to the alcoholic brands, and then click on here and set from variable, all right, and say alcoholic documents, and then say name. Like that, it will just show the name of the brand. So now the final part, which will just take us like a minute or less, is go and copy the just the QR part that I talked about. So this one should be something you might have been familiar already with. Click on settings, go to web publishing, and then we already have the app. It's called Fudu here. So yeah, just click on this. I want to copy this link. I'm copying the Fudu application link. Then come to QR code generator, right? So you can just come to, it's basically app.qr code, just type QR code generator on your browser, right? It's powered by Bitsly, right? Then you can just come to create your QR code, and then okay, so you have to create an account, and then it will ask you select your QR code type. I want to link it to a website, so something like that. And then where is it? Of course, go ahead. Scan to preview. This is demo. Where is the next button? Okay, yeah, I was looking for this next. So next, then you paste your link, FlutterFlow, all right? So then you go ahead and click next, and then it will generate the QR code for you. So this is your QR code now, and then you can actually get to choose any of them, right? And then even write a name. So like for here, I'll say Fudo, right? So like that, then you can download the QR code and then maybe paste it somewhere, and when people scan it, they will be able to be redirected to the application immediately. Okay, so that is the end of the training for today. That was very long, right? Okay, that was really long, guys. We still have like 18 people still here. I hope you guys were able to be able to catch some things here. Okay, so I'll try to check some questions. Am I the only one with network issues? Oh, sorry about that, Tech Nexus. Can people still join the training? Yes, people can still join the training. That's question from Idris. So let me try to quickly get the link of the link for Nocode and on WhatsApp. So I'm just copying the link now. Then I will paste it as a comment. Okay, so I've dropped the link to the group on WhatsApp, so you can check on it and join it. That's for Idris and anyone else that wants to join. Okay, so all right, so where is it? I'm trying to check out the questions that we have. You can design from scratch with this. What does it mean by firestore rules not deployed? Okay, so firestore rules, we will talk about that eventually, right? So I'm gonna stick to the time here, guys. We'll talk about that eventually, right? I think in the next class. Okay, so why can't we query directly instead of using document reference? So we are doing connection, we're connecting from one page to the other, so it has to be document from reference, not directly. Okay, so I think that's the end. What about if we want to link to a payment gateway? Okay, so yeah, if we want to link to a payment gateway, let's say like Paystack, all right? So you will just go to Paystack and create your payments link, and then put it as the URL for launch URL, okay? That's for the action. That's for Betan's question. So, okay, so that's it. Okay, guys, we have 2 minutes to the end. I really want to leave it at, let's say, 2 hours. So I think we're good right now. And thank you very much for being here. If you have issues, just drop it as a comment, or okay. So the thing is this: I'm gonna drop a message maybe after this class on the WhatsApp group, that you guys can send me a message directly, like as frequent as you want. It might be slow for me to respond here. You know, I'm also a student, so but I will try to see how I can help as much as I can. And please always make sure that you attend the labs, because there are some students that might be able to understand things faster than others. So you can just take advantage of the lab, the peer-to-peer classes, where you can like ask your colleagues that have understood a little bit better than you, and then you can rewatch these videos over and over again just to understand it. And once again, happy International Women's Day to all the women here and all the women in the world. Okay, so okay, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, Kays. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Okay, thank you very much, and have a great evening, guys. Bye.